Hi, this is Dr. Rajkumar. I'm a laparoscopic bariatric surgeon affiliated to Lifeline Hospital in India and the Burjeel Hospital in the United Arab Emirates. Let's look at the pathogenesis of metabolic liver disease. The term metabolic liver disease is usually utilized to indicate disease of the liver that happens secondary to metabolic changes like an increased visceral adiposity. What really happens in somebody with an increased visceral adipose phenotype? We know, for example, that the visceral adipose tissues lipolytic potential is abundant. It is a source of a great increase of free fatty acids. We know, therefore, that lipolysis acting in metabolically active visceral fat. This is not the subcutaneous fat in over the buttocks or over the arms or shoulders, but the visceral fat around the organs, like the great omentum, the lesser omentum, the mesocolon, etc. We know that this visceral fat will cause lipolysis of circulating triglycerides and increase the fatty acid inflow into the portal vein and into the superior mesenteric vein. Therefore, patients who have a higher amount of visceral adipose tissue will be discharging larger amounts of free fatty acids into their liver. It has been estimated from several studies that 59% of the triglycerides present in the liver arise directly from dietary carbohydrates. We know that dietary carbohydrate intake is equal to hepatic triglyceridemia, and 26% arise from de novo lipogenesis, which is compared with normal subjects. In some instances, there are major problems because of lipotoxicity. Why does lipotoxicity develop in the liver? Steatosis or accumulation of free fatty acids inside hepatocytes leads by itself. This lipotoxicity causes apoptosis, it causes necrosis, it generates oxidative stress and inflammation. In other words, this liver is subject to a chronic fibrogenic inflammation, which in turn leads to insulin resistance, leads to fatty liver disease, and then on to the NASH and the NAFLD or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease group. We know also that increased free fatty acid concentrations in turn may be responsible for insulin resistance in muscle tissue, whereas in adipose tissue, insulin resistance further prevents the insulin mediated suppression of lipolysis. Insulin is a lipogenic hormone, and not having enough insulin receptors will decrease the lipogenesis and increase the lipolysis. The sequence of events and the mediators linking visceral fat to insulin resistance and liver disease progression, unfortunately, aren't quite well defined as yet. What is clear is that adipose tissue is a huge endocrine organ, and over 100 factors secreted by adipose tissue have been identified as potentially responsible for liver lipotoxicity. Their secretion is increased with increased visceral fat mass, with the notable exception of adiponectin, and chronic inflammation characterized by the infiltration of adipose tissue by macrophages, endoplasmic reticulum stress, and oxidative stress definitely plays a relevant part. However, the key issues of factors triggering the progression from a pure steatosis or mere fat accumulation to what we call NASH or to NAFLD and fibrosis are not solved as yet. It is also possible that different factors may be operative in individual patients, but excess visceral body fat remains a nearly necessary condition for hepatic steatosis.